Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Toys and Children's Product Safety and Regulations Updates, which is jointly organized by the Hong Kong Trade Development Council, the Federation of Hong Kong Industries, the Hong Kong Toys Council, and the Toys Manufacturers Association of Hong Kong. 各位观众，下午好，欢迎参加由香港贸易发展局、香港工业总会、香港玩具协会及香港玩具厂商会主办的最新玩具及儿童产品安全条例研讨会。This webinar will be conducted in English. You could choose Putonghua as the interpretation language by clicking the interpretation button at the bottom of the screen. 此研讨会会以英语进行，您也可以用普通话收听演讲，只需要按下荧幕最底部的口译选项，就可以挑选语言了。Today's webinar is held on the occasion of the HKTDC International Sourcing Show online. Don't miss the chance to meet your potential suppliers by using our AI-powered click-to-match business matching platform. Kindly be reminded to register if you haven't done so. Without further ado, may I invite our moderator, Mr. Brian Chen, Vice Chairman, Hong Kong Toys Council, to kick off the webinar. Mr. Brian, please.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us. When it comes to the topic of toys and children product safety and regulations, two of the hottest topics right now are to do with the Brexit and also with mystery boxes. Today, we are very excited to have two experts to share their insights to help toy manufacturers navigate through a changing market. The speakers are, the first speaker will be Mr. William Wong. He is the Assistant General Manager, Laboratories, Toys and Hardlines from Intertek Testing Services Limited. And our second speaker will be Mr. Johnny Wong, Senior Manager, Toys and Children's Product Department from the Hong Kong Standards and Testing Center, STC. We will have a question and answer session after each speaker's presentation. So if you have any questions, please feel free to share them in the Q&A box. Before the speaker's presentation, I would first like to invite Mr. Ivan Ting, Chairman of the Hong Kong Toys Council, to deliver his welcome remarks. Welcome, Ivan. The stage is yours.
Thank you, Brian. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to today's webinar on toys and children's product safety and regulation updates. And thank you for taking the time out and joining us. Riding on the success of Hong Kong Toys Industry Conference webinar in November last year, we are happy to co-organize this event with the Hong Kong Trade Development Council and the Toys Manufacturers of Hong Kong again. I would like to thank the Hong Kong Toys Trade Development Council for offering us this platform. This is a great opportunity for the toys industry to get the most updated situation on product safety and its regulations. We are pleased to have representatives from Intertek Testing Services Hong Kong Limited and Hong Kong Standards and Testing Center as speakers today. May I take this opportunity to extend my heartfelt appreciation to them. They are namely Mr. William Wong, Assistant General Manager, Laboratories, Toys and Hardlines, Intertek Testing Services Hong Kong Limited, and Mr. Johnny Wong, Senior Manager, Toys and Children's Products Department of the Hong Kong Standards and Testing Center. They are both very experienced in testing, inspection, and certification in the industry. As you all know, in 2020, Brexit happened, and the UK entered a transition period. What are the changes in UK safety, toy safety regulations and standards after Brexit. Mr. William Wong will be covering this complex topic in his talk. Meanwhile, mystery boxes, Manghap, have been gaining popularity in China and indeed around the world, and a lot of industry players are entering this hot market. The packaging doesn't really allow buyers to see what's inside, but regulators have noticed. So we would learn more about the safety and regulations of mystery boxes from Mr. Johnny Wong. So without further ado, a warm welcome to all of you again for joining us. I hope that this webinar could bring all of us a lot more information about the latest updates on the toys safety and regulations. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ivan. Now, may I invite Mr. William Wong, Assistant General Manager, Laboratories, Toys and Hardlines, Intertek Testing Services Hong Kong Limited, to present on the topic, UK toys requirement after Brexit. With more than 35 years in the field, William helps Intertek's top retail and manufacturing clients to navigate the changing regulatory environment of toys and other consumer goods. William, the stage is yours. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. So today's topic is the UK toy requirement after the UK left the EU. Okay, now the transition period is already end. So you can see that in the 2020, January, the UK left the EU, and then they're going into the transition period, and it also ended last year. So from now on, product import to the UK market, we need to comply with the UK regulation. So before that, we need to have a brief concept of what is the UK. So you can see in the PowerPoint that this we call the UK. There are two parts, two islands. One in the right is we call the GB, Great Britain. It's important that we know the concept because the requirement may be a little different. So the Great Britain, including England, Wales, and Scotland. And then in the left-hand side and the upper right corner, the yellow part of the island is we call the Northern Ireland. So these are all together, all these yellow part together is we call the UK, United Kingdom. So in this year, product in import to UK market shall comply with the UK toy regulation. So, but how about the product already entered UK in last year? So you don't have the concern about this because a product that's already in the market before the transition period, that means you already imported to UK last year, they are okay, allowed to be continue to circulate without any change. So, but the majority of goods going to the UK market will need to comply with the UK regulation. So most of the majority of goods will need to follow adopt a conformity procedure, conformity assessment procedure that is quite similar to the EU New Approach Directives. So a very important example is toys. They will follow that similar procedure as the EU Toy Safety Directive. But there are some other products, for example, the chemical products, gas appliance, or the medical device. Those products may apply to different UK laws. But today's the major concern is the toys. So in this presentation, we'll concentrate on the toy. Okay, so you can see in this table many different regulations. In the left-hand side, the EU directive, and also the correspondence regulation in UK. You can see toy regulation, very important, and also very familiar, like the EMC, electromagnetic compatibility regulation, and also like the LED or LVD. Those are in the EU, we call the New Approach Directive. And now in the UK, they will also have a relevant or a very similar regulation used in UK. So talk about the UK toy regulation. And the regulation applied for the UK toys is we call the UK Toy Regulation 2011. This is quite old. and that is quite different from the EU Toy Safety Directive. So in 2019, the UK published an amendment. We call the Product Safety and Metrology Amendment Regulation. And the major revision to the regulation is you don't need to panic, because all these amendment is to bring this toy regulation to very, very similar to the the EU Toy Safety Directive. So if your product is already applying the EU Toy Safety Directive 2009-48 EC, and you comply, and then you don't need to have much concern of this new regulation. So another thing you need to be careful is that now the UK, they will apply the designated standard. There is a list of designated standard, and then I will show you later. And but the designated standard applied by UK is actually is the same as the EU harmonized standard. So, and also many toy makers, they ask me whether our product, our toy, shipped to UK, whether I need to test according to the BS standard. So you know there is a EN71 standard for toy. There are three versions: BS EN71, DIN EN71, or NF EN71. So they are issued by different countries, France or Germany or UK. But in the when we find in the designated standard list of UK, actually they don't have the BS prefix. But now at this moment they don't have it. But don't know whether anytime maybe later they may, sometime later they may add the BS. I don't know. But even they have the BS prefix, but the content of the standard actually is identical. So the scope of the UK toy regulation is actually similar, same as the EU Toy Safety Directive that is applied to the toy for children under 14 years. And before that, we need to know there's some definition of the economic operator, because now it is a UK market. It's not UK is no longer the EU member state. So especially we need to notice the change of the authorized representative and also the importer. So these are two bodies, two economic operators. They are now within the GB or UK, within UK. So authorized representative are the person established in GB or NI, that is UK. And also the importer now is only referred to the company in UK. It's no longer in EU. So about the obligation of all these economic operator, actually they are very similar to the Toy Safety Directive of EU. So like the manufacturer will pick up most of the obligation of the toys. Like for example, they need to ensure that the toys comply with the essential safety requirements of the toy safety regulation, and also they need to carry out safety assessment or have the safety assessment carry out. Maybe they find a third party to do it, or they make it themselves. So they ensure that you have the safety assessment of the toy. And also they need to apply the conformity assessment procedures to demonstrate that your toys is comply with the regulation. And also after that, they draw up the technical document and declaration of conformity. Also, they need to label the toy with of course their name and address, and also like item code, unique item code on the toy. And also they need to ensure that the series production the toy is continuous to comply with the mandatory requirement. So you tested the toys before produce, and then it passed. But after mass production, whether the quality may be changed, or so you need to ensure that even in the mass production, the toys are continuous to comply with the regulation. And then also they carry out the marketing test. So if they receive any complaint, the manufacturer has the responsibility to record all the complaint and inform all the other economic operator parties. And if in case there is any the authorities, they need to have more any additional information when they have concern on the safety of the toys, and then the manufacturer or even the representative of importer, all these parties that cooperate with the authority in case when they need. So the major content of the toy safety regulation are the below area, comply with the essential safety requirement. Actually, the essential safety requirement of the toy safety regulation, I just mentioned before that there was an amendment in 2019, and then actually they moved same requirement, same essential safety requirement from the copy from the EU Toy Safety Directive to the UK Toy Safety Regulation. So also conduct safety assessment and apply the conformity assessment procedures to demonstrate your compliance, and also issue how to issue the DOC, Declaration of Conformity, and draw up the technical document. Also act the identification on the toys and the labeling. So about the safety requirement. The toy must not jeopardize the safety of the user and the third party. So when we assess the safety of the toys, we need to consider, of course, the behavior of the child, not just test according to the standard EN71, and then but you also need to when you do especially when you're doing safety assessment, you need to think more and consider the behavior of a child and the foreseeable way how they use the toy. And also all the warning and instruction, safety instruction of the toys shall be in English now. For the EU, you know, for the EU, it shall be in the language of the marketing country, or maybe, for example, French or German. When you import the toy to Germany, then your labeling shall be in German. So, but because now it's a UK regulation, so all the labeling shall be in English. And for the particular safety requirements, they copy the EU Safety Directive. There are major 7 areas: physical, like for example small part requirement; a mechanical property, like for example the pinching hazard; flammability; chemical, electrical safety; hygiene, whether there is any microbial contamination; radioactivity, like for example if you have laser in your toy, so whether they are safe. So we need to ensure that all these 7 areas are assessed and the toy is safe. And when what is a designated standard I just mentioned? Designated standard is published by the UK government. And then when the toy, for example, if you have any of the feature of the toy that you suspect that there is a potential hazard, and then you go to find a designated standard. For example, there is an edge on the toy, and you are concerned whether there is any laceration hazard, and then I go to find the designated standard. Oh, I can find EN71, and there is a sharp edge requirement, and then I do the test. It passed the sharp edge requirement. That is, after you test it, pass it, then this feature is presumed to comply with the essential safety requirement in this area. So there is no hazard of the laceration after you pass it this part. So, but bear in mind that the EN71 or this designated standard may not cover all the potential hazard of the toy. So there is an important process, that is the safety assessment. Actually, the safety assessment is very important in finding what we call the residual hazard. Residual hazard, that is those hazards that are not yet covered by the designated standard. So the process is first we identify all the potential hazards according to the characteristic of the toy, the user age, and also whether we find a similar injury case or recall case, and then we list out all the potential hazards of the toy, and then you find the designated standard or other UK standard, whether this standard has a requirement that assess this particular potential hazard. If it pass, okay, all the hazards are covered. It passed, and then this toy is low risk and presumption of conformity. But if there is other potential hazard not covered, not found the requirement from this designated standard, and then we call this hazard, potential hazard, we call it residual hazard. And then we go further step to assess the, we call the risk level. So assess the risk level is according to the severity, possible severity of the injury, and also the possibility, consider the also product life, and also the exposure of the toys, and then we calculate the risk level. So if you found that is a medium risk or high risk, of course there is a method in finding this risk level. If you find that this is medium risk or high risk, and then you go back to redesign the product, or you then further go to type examination. Now the type examination in UK, we just call it type examination. If you're doing type examination in EU, we call the EU was an EC type examination. But in UK, we just simply call it type examination. So another important process is the conformity assessment procedure. That is the manufacturer need to demonstrate that their toys are conform to the safe regulation. So there are basically two methods. One is that, first one is that the manufacturer apply the designated standard, test the product to the designated standard, and it passed, and it cover all the potential hazard, and then you go to production and ensure that the internal production are controlled. They have a process to control internal production control to ensure that the product continues to comply. And then the other way is that you apply the type examination, and then maybe there are some modification after type examination or improvement, and then also you are the manufacturer have the internal production control to ensure that your product continue to comply with the requirement or the requirement after the type examination. And after all the process complete, you test the product, and then you doing safety assessment, and then you ensure that your toy already comply with the toy regulation. Then the manufacturer is responsible for issuing a declaration of conformity. So this is very similar to the EU's Toy Safety Directive. In the EU Toy Safety Directive, they also need to, after all the process complete, and then the manufacturer need to issue the DOC, we call it DOC. And the UK DOC actually the same in the format, they are the same, and the content actually they are the same as the EU DOC. But bear in mind that now the regulation, or maybe some of the chemicals requirements, standard name, they may be different. So in some case, if you are the toy a CE mark and the UK CA mark, and then maybe in some case you need to issue two DOC. Yeah, one is conform to the EU Toy Safety Directive, REACH, etc. And the other one is UK Toy Safety Regulation. And also the manufacturer is required to prepare or compile the technical documentation. This documentation will include the product detail and all the test reports, and the manufacturing process, and all your control system. That is make it this file for traceability. So in case there is any problem in the future, or in case the authority they have suspected your product in the market has any safety concern, then the manufacturers shall, if they request, manufacturers shall be able to provide them the technical document for review. So this list or the very updated designated standard list we found in the link you can see in the bottom of the PowerPoint. There's a link, and you can click into it and find that we call the UK designated standard list. And when you see the list, the name of the standard, you will be very happy, because they also apply EN 71, Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, 4, 5, and 9 is not in the list. So 7, 8, 12, 13, 14, so, and even the EN 6115, they are actually identical to the harmonized standard list of EU. So if you see this list, then you actually you know that you don't need to conduct testing again if you ship to UK. But some toy maker asked me whether when they apply the new version of EN 6115 2020, or the EN 17 Part 2, 2020. And that is quite a concern. I also have the concern whether the EU harmonized standard list, they may at the same time, for example, after the EU harmonized standard list, they adopt the EN 6115 2020 version, whether the UK designated standard list also at the same time apply it. So that is we also need we always need to keep an eye on these two lists. But I believe that EU and UK, they may not use different time or different version of standard. That will bring impact to the industry. So besides the EN 71 series, we also have some chemical requirement. So below are only some very common requirement only. Actually, there are many chemical requirements. And so there is an act in UK, they call the European Union Withdrawal Act. What does it say? It's a direct EU legislation so far as operative immediately before exit day, form part of the domestic law on and after exit day. So that, what does it mean? That is most requirements have been implemented by the EU. It's now already built in the UK law. That means no change. The same requirement will be already built in the UK law now. For example, before the transition period, and then the TOY adopts the directive 2009-48. After Brexit, they apply the UK toy safety regulation, and the directive 2007-774, amending the Appendix C of the Annex 2 of the toy safety directive. They have the phenol, BPA, or formaldehyde requirement. And this same requirement is already acted in the UK toy regulation, Schedule 2, Appendix C. So you test it the same testing, same limit now. But of course, the name of the law may be different, but the testing method and the requirement is the same. How about REACH? So in EU, the REACH is managed by ECHA, but now in UK, they are managed by the HSC. And within the in the REACH regulation, there are, for example, some requirement PAH or PHALE. They are according to the 1907-2006 Annex 17, and now this requirement already built in the UK law, SI 2019, the REACH. We also call the REACH, and actually the same requirement. So the other very important part is the marking. I think regarding testing, very similar. Even after Brexit, the UK requirement and the EU requirement very similar. But they are a little different is the marking. That I think the only, they are a major concern in the change. So if you are CE marking, of course, EU, there is no impact in EU. CE marking will continue to apply. So CE marking on the, I mentioned before that if your product already entered the UK market, the CE marking toy, the toys can continue to circulate. No need to have any change. And there is now, if the toy, your toy is still have the CE marking only, no other marking. And then there is a grace period until the end of this year, December 31, 2021. And if the toy only have a CE marking, can still go into the UK market. You don't need to have any change now. There's this period we call it a grace period. But usually the CE marking is applied by a self-declaration types. So the manufacturer, they can, after they have tested all the toys and conduct the essential requirement of the directive, and then they can apply the CE mark on the toy. But in some case, they need to, they must have a mandatory third-party certification or assessment. So for example, we call it type examination. But in such case, if you want to apply the CE mark on the toy, you shall find a EU notified body now in this year. Because now the UK notified body has already changed to the UK approved body, and they can no longer give you the CE mark. They can only issue UK CE mark now. So very important marking, two important marking, the UKCA mark and the UKNI mark. Many questions about this marking from the toy makers. So what is the UKCA mark? The full name is the United Kingdom Conformity Assess. So that means if you apply the UKCA mark on the toy, that means you declare that your toy already totally conform to UK regulation. But the UKCA mark is now adopted by GB only, Great Britain. So when you see the map in the first page, so the UKCA mark will be mandatory in Great Britain, the England, Wales, and Scotland market, starting from January 2021. So that means this year you can use the UKCA mark. So there was a period I will tell you later. And then after that, that means January next year, the toy sale have the UKCA mark. And what is a UKNI mark? UKNI mark is actually only applied to the Northern Ireland market. Northern Ireland market, that is in the map, the northern part of the island. Okay. So, but bear in mind that the UKCA mark, manufacturer can self-apply after you conduct all the conformity assessment procedure. You can apply the UKCA mark on the toy. The method is very similar to CE mark, but the UKNI mark is not a self-apply mark. The UKNI mark can only apply after you got the mandatory third-party assessment. So that's a major difference of the UKNI mark and the UKCA mark. So the UK from January 2022, all the toy going to the GB market are required to have a UKCA mark. I mentioned before that this year is still in the grace period. Then the toy go to the GB market or the UK market, they can still apply they can still use the CE mark. But next year, January next year, toys must have the UKCA mark. And then the CE mark, UKCA mark can be on the toy or the packaging. And that is the UK toy safety regulation. They mentioned that until now they also still mention that it can be on the toy or the packaging. Okay, bear in mind that the UKCA mark is not accepted in EU. If your toy only have the UKCA mark and then you go to EU market without the CE mark, it is not acceptable. The UKNI mark is the Northern Ireland, because they adopt a different method, different law as a GB. So Northern Ireland market is still following the EU requirement. So toys go into the Northern Ireland market is still applying the CE mark. If your toy only have the UKCA mark, you go to the Northern Ireland market, it is not acceptable. So either you apply a CE mark on the toy or you get the UKNI mark from a third party. So that is for us. If you ask for our advice, that I will tell you that UKCA mark and CE mark are more preferable. Only if you have a very special reason that you must have the UKNI mark, then you apply it. Actually, the UKCA mark and CE mark is enough. Okay, this is the format, 5 mm total height of the mark. If you want to enlarge it or reduce it, follow the ratio. Address is also a very big concern by the toy makers. So because I mentioned before that now the UK is already not a EU member state. So UK company is not a EU company. So in the toy directive or the toy regulation, if your toy only bear a EU name and address, EU company name and address, that UK will no longer consider this is a UK importer. So your toy import to UK must have the UK company name and address. Either this is a manufacturer name and address or importer name and address, but it's been located in UK. So at this moment, the name and address can be on the packaging. If the product, for example, if the product is too small, it's not able to act these labeling, then you can apply on the packaging. And for the product sold in GB, they must have a GB address. If the product sold in NI, Northern Ireland, you must have a Northern Ireland name and address or a EU name and address. Bear in mind this requirement. Okay, for the approved body, the notified body of UK is automatically changed to an approved body. So they can still issue the type examination. No need to apply again. So now if your product go into the UK market, you want to apply the type examination, you can go to find the approved body in UK. But they can, bear in mind that they can only offer you a UK CA mark. So DOC, I mentioned before that, the toy safety regulation, they need to have DOC. And for the recall, the EU, they have a RAPAC system. I think that you are very familiar with this system. But in the UK, they have another system called the OPSS system. So this is a summary I mentioned before in the presentation. So if you that is the time for adopting all these marking. So some comment. For example, economic operator. So bear in mind that the importer name and address on the toy, you need to consider whether you need to update in the packaging if you go to UK. And also notified body, if you're now doing type examination, bear in mind that if you go to the UK market, you can only use, for some type examination, you can only use the UK approved body. Test report, no concern, because actually test report can accept any approved competence lab testing report. They're not approved body. Lab is if you have accredited lab, and then you can issue test report for EN71. Any lab can do it. Toy standard, basically no change. And the DOC, bear in mind that if you apply the UK law, the DOCs will list out the UK regulation. And for the UK CA mark, you can, our advice is if you are, whether I active CA mark or UK CA mark, and then I will advise if you now printing a new packaging, you can consider both UK CA mark and CE mark. Okay. UK NI mark will never use alone. If you apply the UK NI mark on your toy, please also add the CE mark. Europe will not accept the UK NI mark. So this is the end of my presentation.
So thank you very much, William, for the presentation. Now comes the question and answer session on William's presentation. If you have any questions for William, please feel free to share them in the Q&A box on your Zoom screen. So let me start off perhaps with an easy question for William. So if any company or any product, they want to apply for the UK CA mark or the UK NI mark, generally speaking, how long does it take to go through that process?
So I mentioned in my PowerPoint that most of the product, when they apply UK CA mark, is self-apply. They self-declare that they don't need to go through a third party. So that is after you have doing all the testing, ensure that the production, the quality unchanged, comply with the UK regulation, then all the manufacturer can apply the UK CA mark themselves. So only when you need to go to apply a third-party assessment, for example, type examination, or I mentioned before that UK NI mark, they need to have a third-party assessment. So that will depend. You go to the type approval body, to apply the marking, and if all the testing completed and you have all the documentation ready, and then maybe you can get the marking in weeks or 2 weeks time. But of course, different approved body, they may have different TAT, turnaround time. But generally, if you have all the document ready, the testing ready, 1 to 2 weeks is okay.
Great, thank you. So we have another question here is, so obviously there is a grace period to use the CE mark until the end of 2021. Are we seeing a lot of companies quickly going to apply, for the new UKCE or the UK NI mark, or a lot of people are still use the CE mark in the next half year or so?
Actually, many of our client or toy makers, especially when they want to design new packaging, they will already use the UK mark and the CE mark both together.
Right.
I mentioned before that UK NI mark is you need to go through a third-party conformity assessment procedure. So seldom, I found seldom toy maker using UK NI mark. So UK CE mark and CE mark is very popular now.
Right.
And even some toy maker, they don't apply the UK CE mark or don't apply it on the toy now. But when to the end of the transition period, they can even add a sticker on the packaging. That is a very simple, easy way.
I see. Good. Okay, so in consideration of our time, we have one more question for William, and this last question is, now obviously with the Brexit, there is a need for toy companies and toy brands to comply with another standard. Do you feel that the operation costs for these toy companies and toy brands, will you see them? Will the operational costs increase significantly? You think?
I can't say that there is a big impact, as the UK requirement now is actually very, very similar to the EU requirement. So, for example, you test EN71 before, and now you don't need to test again. You can just use that report, and your documentation, you can adopt the same documentation in the past. But there may be some impact about the marking. I mentioned before that the UK importer name and address, they may need to add this name and address into your toy packaging or insert when you ship to UK now. Yeah, there is no transition period.
Right.
The UK CE mark have a transition period until the end of this year. But the UK economic operator name and address is effective now. No transition period.
Okay, that's very good to know. Yeah. Okay, so that's the end of the Q&A session for William. So once again, thank you, William, for your insight into the new regulation from Brexit. Thank you.
Thank you.
So now comes to our second part of our presentation this afternoon. We would like to invite Mr. Johnny Wong, Senior Manager, Toys and Children's Product Department from the Hong Kong Standard and Testing Center, STC, to present on the topic, I Can't See You, Are You Safe? Mystery Boxes, Safety Issues and Requirements. With more than 20 years of experience in testing, inspection, and certification with the toys industry, Johnny is also well equipped with over 10 years of experience in manufacturing a wide range of baby and children's toys product. Johnny, the stage is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Good afternoon, everyone. Let's go to the second topic on today's webinar. So the topic is mystery box. Okay, mystery. So we don't know what is this. So the problem is come out. So there's really a hot topic on last couple of years in China. So there's really a good times to think about the safe or the product quality of this mystery box. Of course, this is not a new item or product in the world, but I don't think so use the product or item because this is not a product and also not a items. There's a selling technique. They put some product inside and you don't know, and then while you open it, so this not only provide the product for use, also provide surprise, maybe positive, maybe negative, or happiness, or maybe some exciting while you unboxing it. So a lot of kind of a product in the world of you can see the PowerPoint, the cosmetic product, some nutrition products, food, a lot of different kinds of product can be a mystery box. So the problem is come out. What about the safe concern of this? Of course, today we will go into the toys and the related with the toys safety. So let's use a few minutes to go through some marketing information. Although the mystery box, not much information at this moment because there's a too wide range of the products. So let's go to the Japan's first. Okay, Japan. Gachapon. Gachapon, they are doing the mystery box more than 50 years. Gachapon is the capsule toys. So I do think so if Hong Kong people, every mall or shopping mall, everywhere have a lot of vending machines. While you pay by the octopus, maybe $10 or $20, then you can catch and get the toys. But the toys inside is random. So they are doing very well of this market. This photo is the brand new shop in Japan, Tokyo. In this shop, have 3,000 vending machines inside there. This the biggest in the world. So this one of the good thing that we can consider how Japan market can do this kind of the product more than 50 years and keeping growth of their business. Okay, another market we want to have a review on this is the UK. On a few months before, they have a study on the total sales of the UK market. They found out that on 2016, more than 16% of our total sales is for the kiddos. The kiddos, this term, they interpret this the age is 12 years and up. And they also have a study on 2020. The sales goes to the 27%, more than a quarter. So that means they keep going on this. So there's also a very interesting information on this. So another market is USA. We found some online markets, eBay. eBay, they also have some mystery box item. They are over 900 mystery box item, so you can buy online. And also Amazon have more than 3,000 of item have mystery box. So the overall, you can see a lot of different areas also have a mystery box market. So let's go to the hot market, China. Okay, China, they also have a survey on last year, and the information is come out from the up to the 2019. From 2015, the one of the category of the product is a 條換. Sorry, I don't know how to translate it. Because in the market, someone translated art toys, someone is designer toys. But there's some special things limited on the volume, maybe created by handmade. So this is 條換. So their forecast more than 12 times up to 2024. So on 2015 is 6.3 billion. On 2019 is 20.7 billion. So there's a record, okay? And their forecast up to 4 years later is 76.3 billion. So 10 years, 12 times. So there's a very large, very large. Okay, another hot topic is because of pop mark. These companies, they are every year have more than 54.6% of growth. So these are really hot. So I take one of the example for yours. This is one of the hot item of pop mark. This Molly door. So another thing is attractive in China of mystery box is because they have a quick selling way. Because they can have a second selling, so the product can go up significantly. So you can see this item can go up 250 times of original value. So this is very, very large. But also we find some information why the China market have such a great value of this kind of mystery box. They found the people, they also do one of the surveys. Around 200,000 of people, they spend $20,000 per year of mystery box. So there's a very large market, and the people keeping have a very good selling abilities. So after this market information, so we back to the regulation or safety concerns. Okay, what about the products? What's that product of mystery box? Of course, we are standing here talking about the toys and related with the toys regulation. So the problem is how we can identify, is it a toys? So the problem is how could we identify it? And what about if this is not a toys and under 14 years old? And how about the kiddo products? Because the kiddos, I'm just saying it's age 12 and up. So what about the kids product safety requirement? And what about other consumer general products? So I'm trying to explain one by one of this. Okay, let's go to what is the toys. So we go back to the basics, to the toys regulation, toy standard. Okay, so you can see the 5 standard on the PowerPoint. One is the BSEN, that means the European standard, and the second is the ASTM F963. These are for the US market. ISO 8124, this is for international standard, and GB 6675, this China market, and the ST 2060, this is for the Japan. So let's go to the ASTM F963 firstly, because this is most simple. So just a few words. What about the standard to define a toys? So the wording is simple, intended for use by children under 14 years of age. Not difficulty, okay? So easy to understand, okay. And then second, we go to the ISO 8124, more wording on this. Any product or materials designed or clearly intended for use in play by children under 14 years of age. Much wording, used in play, okay? And material designed, okay? So then go back to the BSEN, much longer, but the meaning almost the same. But what wording add on? Pay attention the whether or not exclusively for use in pay by children product of less than 14 years old. So this is the standard to describe what about the toys. Or maybe we can make it simple. Intended, decided, below 14 of age. So there's a toys. And the ST standard, because they are based on the ISO 8124, so you can see almost the same. And the GB also based on the same of the concept of the ISO. So you can see the Chinese wording as almost the same things of the ISO standard. So it should be divided to a toys that's not difficult. But how about in the toy standard, but not under control by the toys? So here's this table show only two standards because too much wording on each standard. So I only select the EN, the European standard, and the GB, the China standards. So so you can compare the two language of it. So you can find out some products not controlled by the toy standard. So maybe we go to the point number 8. I already showed in bold size wordings. So the wording on this is a product for collector. So because the mystery box, a lot of mystery box is some, they mentioned the product is for collectible, for there's a in scale model. So in number X, you can find a collector. So there's for the collectible toys. And also you can see the point item 9 and 10. Item 9 and 10 is a scaled model. Okay, so you can see these two kinds of products. It seems to be not covered by the toy standard. But be careful, because this also maybe the products are under 14 of age, but not controlled by the toy standards. So how about this kind of the products? What standards should going for? Okay, maybe later, okay? So you can see this one, okay. Coming up, this one also is a toy standard, not covered toys. But there's not much of a direct related to the mystery box. Only maybe some fraction for kid. So there's maybe some sofa item 28. Sofa is a pacifier, or maybe the name and another name is baby dummy. So maybe some fraction item 31. So this is also not controlled by the toy standard. So maybe you need to know not all the toys under control by the toy standard. Okay, so you need to know about this. Of course, what we are doing is if the mystery box is a toys under 14 years of age, and on the package already mentioned this is the age grading is below 14 years. Already have the CE mark, already have the small part warning, something like this. There's an indirect information to telling you this a toys, so we should go for the toy standard. Okay, if go to the toy standard, it's simple. So you can see this international toys standard requirement. I do think so. You may be also familiar of the toy standards, so I'm not go through details of this table. Of course, if you're interested, you can let me know, and I I can tell more about this later. So if the product is classified as toys, then go to the toy standard. It's simple, okay, easy. The rest, we will coming on to explain how to do this. But maybe some people is not a manufacturer, not a designer, they don't know what about the product design, what about the age grading, what about the marking or something. They are trader, they are importer. They just know buy and sell. So that's maybe another problem on this. So maybe we can go another size to check what about SSA toys. So I introduce another methods to identify SSA toys, especially you are the importer or trader. Okay, by the custom HS code. The HS code is for the governments to set the tax rate for different kinds of the product. Toys, the number is 9503. 9503, okay. So this PowerPoint show you the Hong Kong requirement. You can see the general toys at 9503.00. Okay, so while you're buying some product from other country and selling to other country, and you know the HS code is, the prefix is 9503, then, okay, there's a toys. More examples. This is European HS code. So you can see there are more number follow the prefix 9503. So for example, sorry because the PowerPoint, the writing is too small. For example, the 95030030 is for the electric train reduced size scale model. So scaled model also consider a toys. Okay, so mystery box, if you are selling a figurine models or car models, or so this is a toys by the HS code. Okay, so you can go to the this website to check. Okay, another example is a this one from China. Okay, the China, they also have information on this. So you can see the China is 10 digit plus 3 digit of the CIQ code. So total 30 numbers on this. So you can see the 9503 009 000. This number is also for the toys. Okay, so you can check. Okay, I provide a link for you, so you can check whatever someone selling you one of the product is mystery box, but they using the HS code is for toys, so you know there's a toys. Okay, so while we know what about the toys, so we are come to the non-toys and general products. Okay. So, first of all, we go to the European standard, European area. Because I will not go to the toy standard, then maybe have some general requirement. In Europeans have a General Product Safety Directive 2001/95/EC. In this directive, the Chapter 1, Article 1 already mentioned very clear. And so that product placed on the market are safe. And also on the article number 8, any product placed on the market as being safe, okay, all necessary information, okay, have safe check, And in this article number 8 also have an A to F requirement. Most of them are mentioned the safe check, marking, warning, official language, what about to remind to the end user, and so on. So even your product not a toys, but you are high chance go into this General Product Safety Directive. Okay, so don't tell the European buyers this is not a toys. Don't worry about this. No other requirement. Just selling it. Okay. Another requirement is the CE marking. Okay, everyone should familiar of that. So I'm not talk details on this. Another concern is the REACH. Also, this based on the chemical requirements. So this also for the other products. If you have a chemical substance, then go for it. Another is the quite special things is another directive is food immigration. This directive since 1987. So what is the food imitations is this prohibit some similar to food, no matter the shape, the size, the art, and the packaging and present like a food, and let the people maybe confused or maybe kids are confused, and then put those products in their mouth, and then have the hazards. So here I have some example. This is not a coffee. This is not a latte. This is a candle. And this also a candle. Okay? And this one, not a milkshake. And this one is a shampoo. So this is a requirement of a non-toys. So you need to bear in mind, because the mystery box sometimes doing some small pieces, maybe a cake or a different kind of cakes but packed inside of this. So if you're selling this kind of product to the Europeans, you need to bear in mind this are prohibited in the Europeans. And finally, is the it's the environmental issue. So an environmental issue is a packaging requirement, or if your product have some electric or electronic plugs inside there, you need to go to RoHS. Okay, so I think you are familiar of this. Okay, so I'm not talk too much of this. So this is just a part of the non-toys general product requirements, but there's a more popular on this. Okay, USA market. Okay, USA markets are, before that we talking about the ASTM F963, but actually they have a CPSC, Consumer Product Safety Commissions. So there's a general requirement for all the consumer products. So not only the toys, also a lot of products need to go for this CPSC requirement. For example, the lead content, the 1303, and also have some general requirement for the general certification of conformities. And environmental issue, President 65 for California State, TPCH for packaging, similar to the Europeans. So here I have a two file. These are coming from the CPSC. So you can see the blue color one in the middle. They are already very clear, your non-children's product, blah, 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 need to meet the safety requirements. So you know this, even your product below 14 or over 14 years of age, that you need to go for the CPSC requirements. Okay, China. Okay, China have a lot of requirement on product safety. Okay, first of all, in China, they have a China Compulsory Certification. The short form is the CCC. So the toys product have a few kinds of products that need to control by the CCC. I'm already shown on the PowerPoint. But don't forget that still have some products, some toys are not under the CCC. Those products you need to comply with the GB6675 here list on this PowerPoint. But don't forget also have some other products and not under the CCC. For example, the baby pacifier, the pacifier soother, baby dummy, just like the European terms. You have a GB2X4X2, and also some of the children other kind of product also have their specific requirement on this. So also in China, they do very hard to control the product safety. A lot of specific requirement on different kinds of product already on the market. For example, the children articles and stationery, they already have their own standard, GB21027. On today's newspapers also have mentioned some parents in Beijing, they are concerned their kids buying some mystery box of this kind of product. But actually, it should have tests for this standard. But of course, we don't know what happened on this. So a lot of non-toys product. Okay, there's a final PowerPoint on this, but this is quite important. Let me have a summary of this mystery box requirement. So if this is a toy below 14 years of age, then go for the toys regulation. Okay. Also, don't forget some environmental issue. Okay. And if the product is non-toy or even a toys but not under control of the toys regulation, please check have any specific product standard or requirement on that. If yes, go for this. If no, come on, general consumer regulation. And then concern the general environmental regulation. Why I'm set the greater than 12 years old? Because in USA. But you can see non-toy product, they also need to do almost the same things, no matter the age. So for example, in Hong Kong, not only the toys regulation to control the toys product, also have the consumer goods audience, the safety requirement for general consumer good, and also have the trade description audience requirement as a general requirement to control product in Hong Kong. So even in Hong Kong, if you're selling the mystery box, don't forget not only toys. If it's toys, that's easy. Go to the toy standard. If not a toys, you need to check have any general consumer requirement or general safety product requirement for this. Okay, that's my presentation on today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Johnny, for your presentation. And now we come to the Q&A session for Johnny's presentation. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to share them in the Q&A box on your Zoom screen. So, Johnny, let's start off with a first question. Okay. So, obviously, we talked about defining whether it is a toy. You can use the HS code, or you could differentiate using the age grade. So the question here is, if in one mystery box there are more than one item.
Yeah.
Maybe one is defined as a toy, and then the other is not a toy. How do we go about managing the regulation in that specific mystery box?
So there's a very good question about this because there's a quite specific kind of the products. Of course, each individual item should be safe. Okay, so if you pack more than a toys, then another kind of product should have a regulation or general product safety they need to comply with this. For example, in Hong Kong, maybe there's another kinds of product. You may be a food products, you need to have a nutrition label on this. So this, that's what I've said, the trade description audience to comply with this. Whatever, how many product you put inside there, each individual items should have their own compliance information. Okay.
So we need to be very careful
Yeah,
about
yeah, yeah.
the individual items
Yes.
inside the mystery box.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
All right. So relating back to our first presentation today on Brexit, what are your comments about the new Brexit safety regulations and the regulation on mystery boxes? So between the new UK requirements and mystery boxes, do you have some comments about how we could relate the two together?
Okay, because I'm also showing my PowerPoint about the EU requirements, because EU requirements are almost the 100% adopted by the UK. So it should be don't be too much worry about this. If you already comply with the European requirement, then this should be no any impact on this.
That's good.
So just go for the immigration, for example, the food immigration. In UK also have their own regulation on this, but just the different number. But the
Right.
concept and the definition and even the requirements is same.
Okay.
Okay, so don't worry about this.
Okay, that's good. So it's similar to what William was telling us about. As
Yes,
long as you
yes.
have the experience with EU, then should not be
Yes.
too big of a difference. in
Only
that
the
area.
UCAS mark.
Okay, good. And then maybe for our last question. So obviously, mystery boxes, they are gaining a lot of popularity, and obviously there are a lot of gray areas, in terms of the regulation, toys or no toys. What is your opinion, on the regulation of mystery boxes in the future? Do you think the regulations will become harsher in the future? What kind of changes? So maybe some of your thoughts on that.
Okay, my personal is I think about maybe at this moment we have a toys very good standard, more than 50 years of the toy standard. But we really need to think about how about the toys product for not only for children products, and maybe for the 12 or maybe 20 or maybe the elderly, because some special toys is for the elderly to make the people the emotion is better and something like this. So I do think so. Toys is not a small market anymore. It's all age of the humans. Every people need the toys. So maybe the government needs to think about this of toys product for kids already have. How about the toys product not for kids?
Right.
Have any requirement to control, and what about their thinking of this? So I think there's a much better to govern this kind of a mystery box, or even the 条玩.
Yes.
Okay, so this is my concern.
Okay. Good.
Okay.
Well, thank you very much again, Johnny, for your presentation. And this concludes our Q&A session. So again, thank you, Johnny.
Thank you.
And with that, this concludes today's webinar. Once again, thank you, William, and thank you, Johnny, for your insights, and to everyone for joining our webinar today. Thank you again. Goodbye.
Thank you, Brian. You'll soon be directed to our online questionnaire. Please take a minute to fill it out. Your feedback will be highly appreciated. If you have any sourcing needs, be sure to register as a buyer at HKTDC International Sourcing Show online, where you can connect potential suppliers through Click-to-Match platform, our AI-powered business matching. Do stay behind and check out the introductory video if you are interested. We look forward to meeting you soon at future HKTDC events. Thank you and goodbye.